For exercise 5-20, once again, we're just going to be talking about the things necessary to complete the views. And again, I've gone ahead and drawn in roughly the top, front, and right side views just to use as a guideline. The main thing that we're going to be needing to do is figure out how all of the projections work for each of the points that we're discussing. One thing that I do need to do is make sure that I add in my miter line so that I have something that I can project from my right view to my top view. So I'm just going to quickly put in my miter line at 45 degrees and we'll continue from there. The front view is nearly complete. The main things that are not included currently in the front view is the projection of this line across, because there is an edge there, and this line across. And I'm going to zoom in so that I can see that a little bit easier. Okay, with those views being put into place a little bit more accurately, I can continue working out these views. I know that in the course of this, if I look at the assignment, I do have this little shape right here in the front view with this shape and this shape. So for the most part, I can assume completion of the front view minus a couple of hidden lines. So I'm going to take and focus my attention on the right side view. But again, I'm not necessarily going to worry about the hidden lines just yet. I want to get the bulk of the view in first. So I do know that I've got this edge right here that has to be projected into this view. So I'm going to project this line right across to here. Now, this line is not a continuous line the whole way across because there is a cut in here that's going to stop this at 10. So I'm going to come back in here 10 and I'm going to draw this line down. And how far down it goes is to this projected point right here. With that projected point being that, I can now trim this piece out. So as I look at the assignment, I see this shape right here, and that shape is mirrored in this view. I also have an edge right here that I need to project across to represent this face and the angular portion of this face. The right view minus hidden lines for the most part is technically done. So now I'm going to move on to my top view. First, I want to project this line up and across. Let me make sure that's straight across. Next, I need to project this line up and this line up. The points that this is currently giving me is the top edge of the sloped portion of this piece. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the lines as I go for this particular assignment, but keep in mind that there are going to be additional points that are going to have to be referenced as we move forward with this piece. With this cutout here, I have an additional flat cutout point right here that I can project up from this piece right here. And that's only going to go up to right here, and then that'll close that off. The same thing is going to be true with this side. It comes up to where it levels out flat and then comes back in. I need to project this here up and over because I've got two flat spots on the back that are going to line up with these two flat spots on the front to give me those flat pieces on the back side of this as well. So I'm going to project this up and this up, and then once I trim this out, it should give you a pretty clear understanding of exactly what those lines were used to do. So now, taking a look back at the assignment, I've got this rectangle, this kind of T-shape, this kind of T-shape, and these two rectangles. That is, for the most part, everything that needs to be done as far as the top view is concerned. Now I can move on to my hidden lines. I know that these grooves cut the entire way through. So I'm going to start just by putting in the hidden lines that represent those grooves cutting the whole way through. And that's going to be true for the top view and the right side view. Now, since everything in this is symmetrical, none of the backside features are going to be hidden lines in this view because they're also front side features. The only hidden line is going to be this right here. as far as the top view is concerned, I have this groove, but I also have the bottom edges of this groove, so each one of these grooves is going to be done using 2 hidden lines. And if you notice, the second set of hidden lines, or the interior set of hidden lines, matches up with the top groove, so I'm only going to draw them this far, even though technically they do go the whole way through. Now, the thing that most people get wrong on this particular assignment is the hidden lines for the front view. Most people don't include any. But if you look, there is this edge right here. This edge in the back needs to be represented in the front view, so it's just from here to here. These would be the hidden lines that I would be able to see from that front view. Now again, just like the last example, the purpose of this is to show you how to get all the lines and where all the lines come from, but you're going to be responsible for the centering and the dimensioning of this one. Now, much like the last assignment, there are cases where I may have to go to the dimension layer, draw in a short dimension line. Notice I still left my gap to give myself something that I can dimension from to get all of my information. That 60 looks pretty bad, so I'm just going to move it to the outside. But this dimension needs this line to work, so there's going to be a couple situations in this view as well where you may need to do that.